Welcome to Permission to Thrive. I'm your host, Suzi Lula. As a spiritual therapist for over 20 years, I have the honor and privilege of ushering women and mothers just like you on a journey from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. I also have the honor of raising our son, Will, who is now a young adult, with my longtime partner, Jamie, so I'm right there on the journey with you. Consider this your personal sanctuary, your space to meet your heart, embrace your messy, and come home to your most authentic, extraordinary self. My hope is that you leave resourced and inspired because you are here to shine. Welcome to Permission to Thrive. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this special holiday series. I hope you've been listening to and enjoying the holiday series to empower you to create a peace-filled, joy-filled holiday season that is authentic to you. And if you haven't, you can go back. The past couple of episodes are dedicated to creating a really stress-free, light-filled, love-filled, connected holiday season. You can go back, listen and watch those over and over again. And as well, last Friday, I did a free soul care masterclass, setting intentions, releasing that which no longer serves us, calling in what we are seeking for the new year. And also in the free soul care masterclass, I talked about my soul care coaching certification program. The next collective, our third collective, is beginning in January 2024. So if you're interested in finding out more about the field of spiritual psychology and how it can assist you to transform within yourself, with all the different relationships in your life, your children, your parents, your spouses, your career, your business, your finance, your body. And if you're a coach, to have a specialization and expertise in the emerging field of spiritual psychology, that link is also in the show notes. Please go through the material there. If you have any questions, DM me, email me. So happy to be in conversation with you about it. We are a very powerful collective of individuals, like-minded, heart-centered, deep divers. If you are seeking to transform and truly thrive in 2024, that is the place for you. And if you were not present for that and you'd like to get that recording, the link is in the show notes. So be sure to just go down in the show notes, click on the link, sign up. You'll receive that recording. It was very powerful, and all seeking to provide you assistance to create this holiday season and complete this year in a way that sets you up to thrive throughout the holidays and in the coming year. And now for today, let's sit back, relax, receive, enjoy. So as we've been speaking of these past few episodes, this is the season of light. And yet, at this time of year, we often feel anything but bright and light. We can feel heavy and overwhelmed, exhausted, dark, stressed out, anxious. But if your intention is to experience the light of the season and the light within yourself, this episode is for you. Because the holidays can be stressful because we are gathering together with individuals that we have unhealed energy with, an unhealed past, unspoken. We haven't come to peace with certain individuals in our life, and then we're all placed together at these different gatherings and during the holidays. So it isn't necessarily the holidays, it's the relationships that we're having with these individuals that are fraught with stress. And then we bring that stress into the holiday season. Or we have unhealed energy with our own past holiday season experiences from when we were a child or when we were growing up. And so just the thought and the energy of the holidays can bring up like a volcanic eruption of past energy that was filled with hurt and stress and anxiety and disconnection and loneliness. And so we bring in that unhealed material. That stress then invades our holiday season this year. It invades the gatherings. It invades even our thought of the holiday season. And also, if we haven't come to peace with either these relationships, with the past holiday seasons, or our own past in general, we bring that stress into the holiday season. So if you are experiencing stress at just the thought of a particular gathering, an individual, your own past, let's go through what you can bring, what you can practice, what you can do to set yourself up for a peace-filled holiday season, for a peace-filled completion of this year, end of this year. Let's end this year with inner peace, connected to our inner light, inner joy. We can't always control who comes to these gatherings. We can't control what happens at these gatherings. We can't control other people's behaviors, what other people say, what other people bring in, the energy in which they are living. We can't control any of that, but we can set very deep intentions to connect with our own light, to connect with our own divinity, to know ourselves so well and so deeply, and to be so anchored and rooted in the light within us, the light that we are, that when we do, if we choose to show up at different gatherings or interact with different individuals, we are more connected to the light within ourselves than we are with the unhealed energy between us. That energy doesn't have the power to disrupt us, to bother us, to take us off course, because we're so deeply centered with the light that is within us. So how do we practice this? How do we manifest this? How do we create this? So I'm going to go through 3 steps today. The first step is to prepare in advance. We know the holiday season comes every year. We know it's coming this year. We know it's upon us. So we are here right now to practice in advance of the gathering you might be going to practice in advance of the holiday party that your kids may be going to, or Christmas dinner, or a Hanukkah party. We're here to practice in advance, because when you practice in advance, it gives you the opportunity to set a deep intention, to connect deeply within, and then show up at that gathering in a different way than you might have shown up if you didn't prepare in advance. So I want you to right now, as I'm speaking through this, to call to mind a particular gathering, something that may have you feeling stressful or anxious just at the thought of it, so that as I'm going through this episode, you can be working with something that's real within you. I know for me, when my son Will was young, what used to stress me out was nothing more than how people might judge him if he was being a little boy and running around at a gathering or just having excess energy. So how I, not even him, how I was going to be perceived as a mother and perhaps judged or criticized as a mother would stress me out before I even got to the party. So if you're working with something like this, or maybe you're working with loneliness or disconnection, or whatever it is that you're working with, a relative that you haven't made peace with, where there's some energy between the two of you or within you, whatever it is that you're working with, we're going to take that situation right now and work with it in advance. The first thing to do is to recognize that this might not be the time of year to try to heal that relationship. So if you're beginning to become aware right now, you're thinking about a party that you're going to be at or your kids are going to be at, and you realize there's going to be someone there that you have unfinished business with, unhealed energy with, and that individual is going to be there, this might not be the time of year to try to heal that relationship. You have 11 other months of the year. You have 11 other months of the year where you can systematically practice to go back and see what needs you had as a child that wasn't fulfilled, what perhaps this individual is bringing up and triggering within you. You can heal that at a time when you have the time and the spaciousness to do so. But often, in the middle of said party, in the middle of said gathering, it's not the time that's going to be conducive to you coming together. Now, perhaps it will, and that's a wonderful moment. So you don't want to close down to that. Definitely be open to that. But it isn't the time that you could expect that you might be having a coming together with that individual. And that's the good news, because that allows you to come into this situation recognizing I don't have to heal with this individual. I need to coexist with this individual in this situation. So what I want you to hear here is that there is a huge difference between choosing your moments to heal. There's a big difference between choosing that, compartmentalizing, or ignoring a situation. So I'm not suggesting that if you have unfinished business with someone, you just ignore that, pretend that it's not there. No, what I'm saying is to give yourself permission that you don't have to be healed with every individual in every situation, in every circumstance. That this is an opportunity for you to say, you know, in the next 11 months, I will pay attention to my reactivity and my triggered energy where this individual or situation is concerned. But for this time, I am going to be at peace with myself. And I am going to show up, should I choose to show up at this gathering, party, whatever it is, I am going to choose to show up at peace with myself. I can be at peace with myself knowing that there's energy that I'm going to work with within myself, within this relationship at a different time. It's just like with children. When a child is fraught with emotion, that isn't the best time to work with that child. When Will was young and he would have a big energy or big feelings of disappointment or upset, that's not the time to try to heal anyway. That's the time to simply be present with them and then know I can circle back, and I will circle back, and I will connect, and I will reconnect, and I will do what I need to do to make sure that this relationship is healed. But this doesn't need to be the moment. That can provide you a tremendous amount of freedom. So when you choose when is a good solid time for you to heal, both within yourself and a relationship, and you realize that the holiday season, when everyone is anxious, might not be the best time, then it takes a tremendous weight off of your own shoulder to even see another person. We're multidimensional beings, and we have the ability and the capacity to know that everything might not be cool between us, and I can still go and have a great time, and you can be here and have a great time. What it calls for from us is to expand our consciousness of abundance, to expand our consciousness that there is more than enough space at this gathering. There is more than enough energetic space and physical space in this family for me to be fully in my joy, and to see that another person may have a problem with me or not be in their joy. There is more than enough space, and it is incumbent upon us to be so connected with our own inner sense of permission and peace and connection inwardly that we can be okay. So we are preparing in advance. We are recognizing the different stressors and situations and individuals that may be coming into our orbit. We're preparing in advance. We're giving ourselves permission that we can take that off of our shoulders, that we can be at a party and we can pick and choose who we speak to and who we don't spend as much time with, and we can be cordial and gracious authentically to everyone. I can be authentic to someone, even knowing that I haven't completed what I'm going to complete in that relationship. It can still be authentic because I'm a multidimensional being. And so I'm learning to coexist in a certain situation and become unbotherable. So you can set an intention for yourself right now in whatever gathering you may be going to in the coming weeks, and decide ahead of time, I'm going to be unbotherable because I'm going to be so connected with myself. I'm not going to expect a person to show up as a different individual than they are. If I know how they are in advance, they may show up that way. I seek to be unbotherable. I seek to coexist and to be able to be gracious in my own heart and still be unbotherable by someone else's energy. I'm not going to give that other individual the power to rob me of my own inner peace and inner connection. And I'm preparing in advance. So with this in mind, how do you want to show up? And use that as your intention. Your intention may be, I seek to be unbotherable. My intention is to be unbotherable where my mother-in-law is concerned. My intention is to be unbotherable where my brother is concerned. I'm going to just let this energy be during the holidays. I can pick it up in February when I am not anxious, when I am not stressed, when I'm not in this heightened situation of familial energy altogether, or cultural capitalistic energy altogether. I can wait. I can choose the time that I am most at peace, the time that I am most at peace, the time that will behoove me to work on this relationship, both inwardly and outwardly. You're going to have a much higher success rate if you wait until, January or February and call that person and say, you know what? I'd really love to set an intention this year that over the year, we find some time to have some conversations so that we go into next holiday season and we're clean and we're clear and we're good. But this holiday season, you set an intention for yourself to be so inwardly committed and dedicated to your own peace that no one else gets to rob you of that peace, which brings us to the second practice. So the first is to prepare in advance, to get so clear on your intention that you can just feel who you are. Who am I when I show up unbotherable? When I showed up saying, I'm good with me, I'm at peace with me. Even if somebody judges my mothering, my parenting, I'm good with me. And who am I when I show up at that event, that gathering, feeling good about me? And so that brings me to the second practice, which is no one else gets to rob you of your light. No one else gets to rob you of your experience that you deserve having over this holiday season. No one gets the power to rob you of your light, your joy, your peace, your experience. My friend and teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith, his podcast is called Take Back Your Mind. So if there was ever a time, it is the holiday season to take back your light, take back your joy, take back your peace, take back your holiday, holy day experience. Give yourself the experience and the season that you desire, that you deserve, and do not let anyone else rob you of this light, this joy, this peace, this connection. What I know is that what people seek most during this time of year is intimacy and connection and love. Don't let anyone rob you of that love, of that joy. Don't give anyone outside of you the power to take your inner joy, your inner experience. That is yours, and that is yours to create and cultivate the conditions around you and within you that you feel so clear about the holiday season that you're calling in, that, as I said, you're unbotherable, that no one else gets to have that power, take that power from you. You and you alone are in charge and get to create the holiday season of your heart, of what matters to you. And we call it the holiday season. It comes from the word holy, that we are here to create a holy inner experience of yourself, an inner experience of your divinity, your worth, your value. Yes, we live in a consumer capitalistic society, and it's going to be fraught with lots of gifts and parties, and all that is great. But underneath all of that, this season is about honoring light and honoring a very holy, mystical practice. It is the holy, mystical practice of not living one more day of your life disconnected to the light that you are and your divinity and your worthiness. Don't let anybody rob you of that journey. And for anyone, I'm digressing for a moment, but for anyone who's really interested in taking a deep dive into not spending one more day, one more month, and certainly not one more year of your life disconnected to your worth and value, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling disconnected from your own sense of value, your own sense of purpose, your relationship with your kids or your ex or your parents or your business or your finance, your body, do yourself a favor. Go to the show notes, look at the link to my spiritual psychology deep dive 5-month journey. It's the best 5 months you're going to spend. You are going to ensure that next holiday season, you are going to show up as a different individual. So do yourself a favor, at least just go look through the link. All of that information is there. Why am I placing it right here in the middle of this episode? Because this is what we're talking about. The holiday season comes from the word holy day. This is a season of holy days. There is nothing more important than living out your days connected deeply to your own sense of purpose. If you are here, you're here for a reason, and you are worthy. And it is important. Most of us go through our days, go through our years, show up in relationships, and especially show up during the holidays disconnected from the value and the worth and the preciousness that you are, that your life is. And so this is for certain an opportunity to connect and reconnect and set your intention that no one else gets to rob you of your journey to your own heart, your journey to live from your own soul. And believe me when I tell you, your soul knows that you are worthy. Your soul knows that you are here for a reason, that you are a divine being. And to connect with your being and to begin to let some of the layers of the ways that we identify ourselves through our roles in life, and to really connect, if there was ever a time of year to connect with your sense of being, your sense of self, it is this time of year. Light some candles tonight. Just sit in your home, dark, with candlelight, and just set an intention with yourself. 2024, this holiday season is going to be your time to connect with your light, and no one gets in the way of that. There is nothing more important. Our lives go by. This holiday season will go by like the blink of an eye, the snap of a finger. And you don't want to look back, having gone through this holiday season, not as connected to the light as possible, right? It's not about perfection. It's just setting that deep intention to go through this holiday season connected to the light that you are. So we are here to expand our consciousness, expand our heart, that there is more than enough space for you to show up fully present during this holiday season in whatever gathering you're going to be a part of, and other individuals who may be different from you. There's more than enough space for everyone. Give yourself permission to have the conversations with the individuals that interest you. And be gracious to everyone, but you don't have to speak to everyone all the time. Go towards the individuals that you are attracted to, that you are pulled to, that feel like-minded to you. And give yourself permission also to go or not to go to a particular gathering, to speak with or not to speak with particular individuals. And no one has to know what's going on inside of you. Give yourself permission at this time of year. You can bow out graciously, gracefully. You can bow out. If you're exhausted, it's just like we give ourselves mental health days in the middle of March. Give yourself a mental health moment if you need one in the middle of your holiday season. Give yourself this permission, because the more permission you give yourself, the more light filled and the more connected to your authenticity you are during the rest of the holiday season. So mostly you are here to connect with your light. Do you know yourself to be light, worthy, enough, exactly as you are? Are you sending yourself messages daily? If there was ever a time to meditate and just take some quiet moments in your day, it is this time of year. So I have a meditation challenge. I will also put that link in the show notes. It's free. You just sign up and you will receive a very short video guiding you through a meditation each day for 6 days. It's free. If there was ever a time to take 5 minutes out of your busy doing schedule, it is this time of year. So sign up. That will be in the show notes below. Also, find a photo of yourself when you were little. Find a photo of yourself and look at that photo. If there was ever a time of year to seek and see your own innocence, it is right now. This is the time of year. Imagine if you had been told every day of your life, oh my gosh, sweetie, you are so beautiful. You are so brilliant. You are so full of light. Oh, that's okay. Try again. No worries. You'll get another chance. You are so intelligent. You are so full of wonder and curiosity. Imagine if you had been told this, if this was the communication, if this was the articulation, if this was the energy in your home. So if there was ever a time from whatever date you are watching or listening to this episode through the end of the year, I want you to dedicate every day just 5 minutes, just 30 seconds to either looking at yourself or looking at a photo of yourself when you were young, and say to yourself during this time all the things that weren't said to you when you were a child. Say them to yourself. There is a child within you. There is childlike wonder within you, childlike awe and wonder within you that is just waiting for you to connect and say, darling, I see you. Honey, I see you. You're bright. Let's let that bright light out. I'm here to set that bright light free within you. If there was ever a time to seek and see your own innocence, it is this time. To seek and see your own worthiness, it is this time. To say to yourself for 30 seconds every morning between now and January 1st, I see you. You are worthy. You are divine. You are divinity itself. You are enough exactly as you are. If you said that to yourself every day between now and January 1st, imagine the relationship that you would be beginning to cultivate within you. We are born into such a world of criticism and judgment and shaming and comparison. You owe it to yourself to speak to yourself and see yourself as the innocent, worthy, divine, enough child that you are, innocent being that you are. Accept yourself exactly as you are this season, and you will be amazed at the rich experiences that you end up cultivating during this season. So if you give yourself and dedicate yourself to seeing your own innocence throughout the rest of the season, who would you be? Who would you be if this is the way you spoke to yourself? Who would you be if this is the way you see yourself? Imagine if you see yourself this way, you might just start seeing your grumpy old dad that way too. You might just start seeing your grumpy old mother-in-law that way too. You might see your child with all of its excess energy that way too. When you see yourself in a certain light, it is more likely that you're going to see all those around you in that same light. So, who would you be if you dedicate yourself to seeing the best, the innocence, the enoughness, to accepting yourself exactly as you are? Who would you be? And begin to do that 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes every day between now and January 1st. Commit yourself, dedicate yourself, and then come back to the comments on Instagram. Come back, DM me, comment. Who would you be? Who are you seeing yourself to be? How are you evolving? How are you starting to blossom and flourish and grow and expand and feel this richness inside of you? This is the richness that we are seeking through these holy days of the season. So just set your intention to not waste the season by going through it disconnected from your own sense of worth. Focus so much on your own sense of worth that every other individual's energy fades away. Focus so much on knowing your own worth that the energy that your mother-in-law brings doesn't even hold weight to the weightedness of your own inner experience. No one else's energy will have the power to infiltrate your own inner energy when you focus so much on willingness to see your own innocence. And then lastly, I want you to lean into a trusted friend, lean into a trusted community, open yourself up to connect with someone. Do not go through this season alone. I want to say that again, please. Do not go through this holiday season alone. If you are having a challenge with patience with your kids, reach out. If you are feeling alone, reach out to someone. If you are feeling shame or trepidation about going to a particular gathering, reach out. I promise you that there is an individual or individuals in your world who would love to be there for you. It is such an honor to get to be there for someone else. And when you are the person needing to ask for assistance or needing to reach out, it can sometimes feel overwhelming. I know for me in the past, it has felt very intimidating to reach out. It's very vulnerable. I felt very exposed in the past. Most of us, especially mothers, especially women, we've been so indoctrinated to be all things to all people, to take care of everyone else, that it can feel very overwhelming to expose ourselves to receive, to put ourselves in a position to receive. I know for me in the past, it's just been so much more comfortable to be in the I'll take care of you position, and to open myself up to receive has been a big learning and an amazing, enriching journey in my life. And so if you are feeling alone, feeling disconnected, feeling impatient, just feeling yourself maybe more disconnected from your kids than you'd like to be, having a challenge handling all the stress or the anxiety, please reach out to someone in your world. We just had in my soul care community, we have a WhatsApp thread, and there was someone on the WhatsApp thread just today who reached out and said, and this individual is a parent and is a single parent of a young child, and reached out and said, is there someone here that can do a session with me? Because we are coaches, we do dyads and offer sessions back and forth to each other. And I felt so much acknowledgement for this individual, because it isn't often easy for us to just reach out and say, hey, can someone give me of your time? But what I know is that there are so many individuals that will be so grateful, because it is impossible for us to be of service and give to someone else without receiving even more. It is impossible. Think of when you've been there for a girlfriend or you've been there for your child. You think you're the one that's there for someone else, but it is absolutely impossible to give and to be there for someone else from your heart without receiving the gift, because what a gift it is to get to be in the presence of someone who is willing to be vulnerable. I know for me, that's why I love what I get to do in life, is because individuals come to me with their vulnerabilities and things that are private that maybe they have never said to another living soul. Well, you don't have to be a professional therapist. A good friend, that is what a good friend does. A good friend creates an environment and an atmosphere of such safety and with such love and with the simple intention to be there and listen and to hold space that the other person feels safe to be vulnerable and to share. And in a friendship, as like with being a therapist, when someone offers you their heart and they're willing to reveal to you and expose themselves to you because they know that you are a safe space and your heart is a safe haven for them, that is priceless. That is priceless. You give an invaluable gift back to someone, but you also receive the invaluable gift of intimacy, because that is what I feel I get every day of my life, is intimacy with individuals who are willing to risk and expose and share vulnerable parts of themselves. I'm the lucky recipient because it's invaluable to me because I feel intimately connected to them and with them. So please, if you are feeling impatient, anxious, stressed, alone, nervous, reach out to someone. That individual will be so happy to be there for you, and you will be deepening your friendship. You will be deepening your relationship. You will come out of it more intimately connected. It's great to go out and party, and it's wonderful to go out to dinners and shop and all the things. It's great. It's part of life. It's wonderful. And when we are willing to really share our hearts deeply with another individual and then experience the intimate connection that comes from that shared vulnerability, that, my friends, is priceless. I would give anything for that. That's what we want with our children. That's what we wanted with our parents. That's what we want with our friends and our business and our clients and our coworkers. Intimacy, real, authentic connection. It's priceless, and it's what we all crave. So set an intention to be there for someone else. Maybe check in on someone if you have the excess bandwidth. And if not, if you are on the other side, there are times for you to be the receiver. Please reach out. Do someone else a favor by reaching out so they can experience the beauty of your vulnerability. Okay, so let's just go back and review. This is your holiday season. Your holiday season to connect with the light of the season and the light within you. So plan ahead. Be aware of your gatherings, of your choices, of who's going to be there, of your intentions, of staying so centered within yourself. That number 2, no one gets the power to rob you of this holy season. Don't give anyone that power. And then number 3, reach out to someone so that you go through the season connected to the real meaning of the season, which is connection. So I hope that you have many takeaways from this time together. I hope it is enriching your holiday season. Remember to go to the show notes. The links to my certification program is there. The replay to the free soul care masterclass is there. Many links there. Come back, DM me, come to the comments on my Instagram. Let me know how you're doing. I love the connection, and give yourself permission to thrive this week. Much love, everyone, and see you next week for an episode on year-end completion and what you're opening up to for 2024. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If there was something in this conversation that spoke to you, we'd so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with women and mothers you know, because you are here to thrive. See you next time.